My next guest is an old friend of mine, Rick Telander, sports columnist, singer, songwriter, snappy dresser, all-around good guy, friend of those who have no friends, works for the Chicago Sun-Times, and his headline was glaring today, calling an error on the White Sox and the CPD for their handling of the shooting at Guaranteed Rate Field, which, of course, happened last Friday. We've, of course, advanced the story since.
They didn't come running up asking for medical attention. I would not have thought anything was happening.
Turns out she was a large woman who had smuggled the gun in the folds of her fat belly.
There was a woman who was her companion had been holding pressure on her right calf, and there was quite a bit of blood on the ground. She said that she heard what sounded like a glass bottle break, and then she felt a sharp pain in her leg.
So the woman that was shot in the leg, that was kind of serious. The woman who had the gun in her fat folds, she had a graze wound, obviously. She refused treatment, and I see why.
She was quite obviously in distress. She was in pain. She had bled quite a bit.
I wonder what the police are doing about this. Let's start there with Rick Telander. Rick, your thoughts on the fact that America can breathe a little easier now, crisis averted. We know that it was just a gun that was smuggled in the fats of the folds of the belly. Do you feel better about it?
John, can I say that I honestly, in a sense, I'm kind of speechless. I'm speaking, but metaphorically, I'm speechless. I knew when I first heard about this thing, something was fishy. I knew it. Do you remember that thing with that guy Joe Glinowitz up in Fox Lake?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Who was apparently killed by the couple or three guys walking along the road. He was a officer, and it turns out it was a suicide. Yeah, that was his wife is still in the soup over that.
Yeah, well, it was a big embezzling thing. That was his cover-up. Anyway, I didn't buy it from the get-go. They said, the report from him was that it was three teenagers, whatever. They're mixed race, a black guy, a white guy, I don't know, maybe Hispanic. Anyway, it didn't make sense. It was nonsense. This thing, nobody heard a gunshot. Glass breaking is what you hear. There are metal detectors to get into Sox Park, so somehow, I guess, fat protects metal. I mean, everything about this is bizarre. The police said, nope, didn't come from outside the stadium. You can watch a video. I've watched it over and over. And 3 rows in front, nobody really even moves. And a couple rows behind, a lot of people are still just watching the game. And a gun goes off. This is bullets. A bullet. Bullets are serious. They can travel a long distance, could have killed somebody, could have shot a player, could have been anything. And what in the hell is this fat lady doing bringing in a gun to Sox Park?
We don't say, excuse me, sir, excuse me. You should know as well as anybody. And I've already been criticized by not only my audience, but my crew here today. We do not say fat. We say calorically challenged.
Okay. Maybe she isn't calorically challenged. Maybe she wants to be large. I know there's a lot of words we can't say. There's so much political correctness. There are now sensitivity readers when you write a book. And believe me, I had to excise the word fat from a book I wrote for a children's book. Said, no, we don't use that. Anyway, but Peggy Kaczynski, I believe, stated, or somebody stated, that it was hidden in her belly fat, her exact words about the woman who brought it in.
Well, Peggy can say that, but we can't. That's also part of the. I won't. Yeah, that's part of the deal now.
Say it.
Yeah.
All right, bleep it out, please. Anyway, it was hidden in a fold. Now, I've done a lot of writing because being a sports writer, I've been to a lot of prisons and jails because there's a lot of athletes there, ex-athletes. And there are ways to get things in, and one of them is called the old prison wallet.
It's not what's it called? The what wallet?
The prison wallet.
Yeah. Okay. So at least it was the folds of her belly, fat, right?
Well, I mean, at least, John, I don't know. Why didn't a woman just tell everybody right there, my hidden gun went off and shot my friend? We wouldn't have had these 3 days of just fretting and craziness and investigation and speculation and rumor. And we yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, the Sun-Times, one of our writers, we got in touch with a woman who was shot, and she said she didn't want to talk, apparently, until she talked to her attorney. And it's like, if that isn't a red flag, you're shot in public, and you don't want to talk about it until you talk to your attorney. So it was just, the question was, how does it not make a noise that anybody hears?
How do you think the Sox, I mean, let's just take it for what it is. There's obviously somebody shot at the game. on Friday night. You thought both the Sox and the Chicago Police Department were derelict. Why?
Well, first of all, it was a gun. It was a bullet. Somebody established that. The doctor who treated the woman said that another person came up and handed her a bullet, dropped the bullet in her hand, and that doctor described it as being a bullet wound. And the other one looking like kind of like with a cigar burn. Well, you know about cigar burns, John, but that was the one who was grazed. And so it was fairly clear that it was a gunshot. So that being the case, who grill the people who were shot? First of all, somebody's got to do something. You don't treat this as like a sprained ankle. The game wasn't called. The players weren't informed. You can say, well, there was no active shooter, but how do you know anything at that point? And everybody's just running around like chickens with their heads cut off, which is partly understandable. The Sox didn't want to alert everyone and have a stampede. You know how that can be. It's happened at rock concerts and other things. It can be deadly. Mm-hmm. But something else should have been done. And I just can't say how much I'm just disgusted by a woman bringing a gun into a ballpark like that and it going off. That means the safety was off. I don't understand it. What was he going to use it for?
Well, probably protection. I mean, she's probably thought it was wanted to carry her gun for protection. So you're right, though. There's probably should have been more questions asked by the Chicago police last Friday night. Boy, it's been kind of a rough month for the White Sox, hasn't it, as far as PR?
This actually just detracted from how badly the team is playing. You know, and they fired longtime general manager Rick Hahn.
Kenny Williams.
They got rid of the executive vice president, Kenny Williams. He's been there a long time, all the way back to when they won the World Championship back in 2005, the World Series. And, attendance is down. They have one of the 3 or 4 worst records in all of baseball. It's supposed to be a good team. Jerry Reinsdorf, the principal owner, says apparently there's a rumor out or some statement from someplace that he is thinking about leaving Guaranteed Rate Field, moving possibly out of town. What more bad PR could you want?
Yeah, people shot at the ballpark on a Friday night.
Yeah, that's great. Get some cotton candy, a hot dog, gets shot. Honestly, John, this to me, I mean, there's other elements to this. There's more guns in this country than people. We've become normalized in a lot of ways with what we do with guns. But I'll tell you the other thing. We all have to go through real serious security. I do as a press member, as a press entrance, and you get wanded. You go through an electric thing. You have to take everything out of your pockets. You have to have your briefcase checked, your laptop quite often. They look through it all, see what's in there. And, of course, it's a metal detector. Now, I guess you could have a ghost gun that maybe isn't even is made out of metal. But, I mean, is she the only person who brought a gun into the park?
Probably not.
I mean,
probably not.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the world we live in. Do you still feel safe going to sporting events similarly to how you felt years ago, whether it's on the South Side or even Wrigley or the United Center?
I do. There were bad things that happened at stadiums, and there were, wherever there's a crowd of people, terrorists or some lunatic can do something. And it's the world we live in. I think everybody, when they go out, in the back of their mind, that's why there's so much anxiety and stress amongst the public generally. It's like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect when I go downtown. I know a lot of people who used to go downtown, carefree and jolly on a Friday and Saturday night. They don't feel that anymore. And I think that is a lot of the ways we all are starting to feel. But me personally, I mean, I have always trusted security. I don't think anybody's going to go after me in particular. Ball players,
Yeah.
I
was talking about that earlier today with the ball player that was rushed by these two guys who wanted selfies, and it reminded me of the father-son combo on the South Side again from 2002, the Legues.
Yep, the Legues or whatever.
Legues, okay.
Yeah, and they were nuts. And do you remember who's the tennis player that got stabbed?
Monica Seles. And
Yeah.
Gamboa referenced her because that happened about the same time he was attacked.
Well, the people in concerts, artists, musicians are getting pelted with things. And, jelly beans, stuff like that's one thing, bras, panties or whatever. But when they start throwing hard things or what's next, you know, I mean, honestly, it is a scary world. Try not to think about it too much. But this one just kind of takes the cake. I'm telling you, this one just floored me.
When you are on the road playing guitar, because you're a terrific guitarist, do women still throw the hotel keys up on your stage?
No, they're cards, John.
Hotel cards. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. The keys can hurt. The cards, they just calmly lay down on the stage.
That was then. I forgot. Yeah, sure.
You know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've seen the act. Are you still playing? Are you still got the sensei there on lead guitar?
Yes, we do. Yeah, you can't kill a band. All you can do is take its equipment away, and we're still out and about. You can go online and hire the Delco stations, and if we see fit, we'll show up.
Okay. Well, how's your rider? It's a tough rider, right? No brown M&Ms?
Yeah, we have other things. Only medium rare steaks, Heineken, and top shelf Champagne Cristal.
Yep, absolutely.
Member.
Yeah. Well, you guys are certainly unique. You're, as I've told you before, like nothing I've ever heard.
I'll go with that.
Okay. Thank you, Rick. Have a great day. Appreciate you popping on, sir.
All right, John. Take care, buddy.
Take care.